Hello, my name is Florencia Gascon-Nemix and I will be your child's Spanish teacher this year. I would like to begin this presentation by showing a short video that answers the question, why become bilingual? So the video shows some of the reasons why bilingualism is something that we all should strive for, and you can see in this screen many other benefits like enhanced cognitive growth, an increase on career opportunities for students now more than ever. There are also many age-related problems that can be slowed down through bilingualism, and it makes us all around better citizens of the world. So I would like to emphasize that Spanish is an elective, but it's actually an academic elective. And for your child to be prepared for high school, I run a program that is based on a rigorous grammatical foundation, but also big emphasis in language acquisition through comprehensive input. This really means that we're not going to be learning the language, but acquiring the language through connections and the use of vocabulary that is going to be making sense to the students in a more organic way. I make a huge emphasis in oral communication because I believe that is basically the main area of the language that the kids are going to be using, which is the oral component much more than the writing and reading component. And it is my hope to facilitate the learning through technology integration and innovative learning techniques. The idea of memorization is an obsolete one, doesn't have a good reputation these days. And so instead of memorization, we like to use repetition, but it is very important to increase repetition because repetition leads to retention, and retention really means that the kids are going to be able to remember those grammatical structures and vocabulary and move to their long-term memory. The final component of our program will be culture, and we will be learning about most Latin American countries, specifically Spanish-speaking countries, because if the kids love the language, the culture, they will be more likely to stay with the language. So specifically what we'll be learning, without getting into a lot of detail, that this year, which is Spanish 2, we are going to be learning the very challenging Spanish grammar that includes not only the past tense, but the present tense and the two past tenses, specifically the preterite and the imperfect. Plus, we will continue expanding our vocabulary, focusing on the most high frequency words in Spanish. I usually go by the 80-20 rule. That means that I teach only 80% of those words that we are going to be using 80% of the time. However, this is probably the most important thing that you want to understand tonight is that in order for your child to be eligible for the second year of Spanish in high school, which for Red would translate into Spanish 3-4, students must finish the year with an approaching or a proficient grade. If a student finishes the year with an overall emerging, the student will not be recommended for the second year of Spanish next year, and they will have to repeat Spanish 1. So it's very, very important that you sit with your child, spend some time understanding that it is not an automatic movement to the second year of Spanish. In general, 2 years of middle school are designed to cover the first year of high school Spanish, but it is not an automatic transition. So I would like now to talk about how are we going to learn all this language. A lot of my classes are embedded with technology. I did my Master's of Education in Innovative Learning and Technology Integration, and TPAC had a big influence, had a big influence on my teaching. TPAC means technological, pedagogical, content knowledge. And the idea behind it is that with a right mixture of technology, a strong pedagogy, and a solid content, we can reach what we call the sweet spot of learning. The best learning will happen when these 3 areas are integrated in an organic and strong way. So this is my goal for this year. In the tech area, I will be relying and using a lot of tools, and that's what they are. They're only tools to help us acquire the language. You see here some of the tools that we'll be using. The kids eventually will get familiar with a lot of them, and you will see that they are going to spend a fair amount of time at home using technology, because most of the homework, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit ahead, most of the homework is going to be based online. However, I also believe on using the traditional tools. Students will have flashcards, and they're going to create vocab lists, and we're going to use the study guides and grammar sheets, and we will be using the textbook, which this year is going to be a new textbook that has a very strong online component. And we're going to be doing all the things like oral presentations, cultural presentations, projects, etc. So what can you expect to succeed in the class? What are the expectations? Obviously, besides, finishing the year with a proficient or approaching grade. So homework is one of the big areas of concern for parents and students. And the expectations for homework are this. Homework, like I said before, is going to be mainly online. Not always, but most of the time it's going to be online. Why? Because we want to spend the class time doing creative things that require communication, teamwork, a lot of constant involvement with the language. But we do not want to spend the time doing repetitive things, such as vocab drills, of repetition of the grammar and things like that. So we are going to use the class time to do that. My expectation is for the kids to do homework 3 times a week. I will not assign, in general, 95% of the times, I will not assign homework on Fridays. I want the kids to spend the weekend enjoying the weekend, restoring, playing, going outside, and not to worry about homework. Now, as an average, you should expect to see your child working on Spanish in between 10 and 15 minutes a day, 3 times a week. I say as an average because some kids are faster learners than others. So in some assignments, a kid might spend 5 minutes and another kid might spend 15 or even 20 minutes a day. But in general, I think it's pretty fair to say that 10 or 15 minutes is the maximum amount of time, which really brings us to 30 to 45 minutes a week. The homework is shown in ALMA as a habit of learning. Specifically, the habit of learning is ownership of learning. So the students need to own their learning by showing their effort at home. The homework is not busy homework. Normally in in class, we cover certain materials, and students are expected to review that material at home. So please make sure that you really kind of supervise and ask your child to show you the homework for the class. The grade for assignments, projects, tests is going to be a standard base grade. Normally, it's going to be based on a rubric or on a test that eventually could be converted into a percent. I mean, the tests are really based on a percentage grade, which for standards-based grading means that a grade that is equal or above 85% is proficient. Approaching is the range of 65 to 84%, and an emerging grade is anything equal or below 64%. All the grades will be posted on Alma at the end of every unit, which is roughly at the end every 3 weeks. And I will not be posting in Alma every single homework assignment. I'm going to be posting only one homework grade, once again, at the end of every unit, just to avoid the kids and the parents sometimes feeling overwhelmed with all that information. If you have any more questions, if you would like me to go in a little bit more depth on something else, please don't hesitate to contact me. Here's my email. I will be trying to answer emails during school hours, and it is my hope to reply to your emails within 24 hours. And if you have any questions, again, never ever hesitate to contact me. And gracias, thank you very much. And I really, really look forward to spend a wonderful year with your child. Hasta luego.